112 years, 2 teams, and the possibility of 7 games. And each team has the same goal, to come out on top and win this year's World Series. This year, the World Series was played between the Cleveland Indians and the Chicago Cubs, and they sure made it an interesting one. The Cleveland Indians blew out the Chicago Cubs in Game 1 of the World Series. The Indians won the game 6-0. They were able to win this game by their pitcher, Corey Kluber, setting a record of 8 strikeouts through the first 3 innings, and Roberto Perez hitting 2 home runs. In Game 2 is the total opposite. The Cubs won 5-1. Cubs pitcher Jake Arrieta pitched a no-hitter into the 6th inning, while Kyle Schwarber drove in 2 runs. Game 3 was a lot closer than the first 2 games. The Indians won the game 1-0, and the 1 run was all they needed. Game 4 was another blowout, with the Indians winning 7-2. Again, a great effort was put in by the Indians pitcher, Corey Kluber, and Jason Kipnis with a 3-run homer. With the Cubs down 3-1 in the series, people expressed how they thought the World Series would end up.
Honestly, I didn't really think the Indians were going to win because even though they had a 3-1 lead, the Cavs still won after a 3-1 lead, so I saw the Cubs winning.
Thought they were going to win because they were so far ahead in the series.
At first I did, but I saw the momentum shift to Chicago, so I had a feeling Chicago was going to win.
With the winner of the World Series on the line, each team knew they would have to perform their best. The final score to Game 5 was 3-2, and the Cubs took the win. The Indians had a 1-0 lead, but the Cubs came back in the 4th to take the lead with the help by a Chris Bryant home run. Game 6 went to the Cubs, who won 9-3. With Addison Russell's grand slam and the Indians' miscues in the field, it let the Cubs to rally back and tie the series up 3-3. With the Cubs coming back in the World Series, people expressed who they thought would win the World Series.
I was going with Cubs. I think they wanted it more bad than the Indians.
I thought the Cleveland Indians were going to win because they were already 3-1 and they were already beating the other team by so much already.
I thought the Cubs because they played with more passion.
Both teams, in hope of ending their World Series drought, for the Indians it was 68 years, and for the Cubs it was 108 years, they each had their chance in Game 7. Game 7 went to extra innings. In the top of the 10th, there was a 15-minute rain delay, but after the delay, the Chicago Cubs drove in 2 runs, taking the win. This ended the Cubs' 108-year-old drought. This 108-year-old drought was the longest in sports history. The last time the Cubs won was in 1908. Some said this had to be the Cubs' year, since a baseball has 108 stitches and it has been 108 years. Many Cubs fans have been waiting for this day to come. And when it did, some had a beer can they wouldn't drink until the Cubs won. And now they can finally drink it. This is the one thing the city of Chicago deserved, and fans expressed their feelings of why they deserved it.
The drought. 108 years, it's too long.
Because I feel like with their past, they really they deserve it.
I thought they deserved to win because they didn't have a championship for 108 years or something, so they really needed that win.
All in all, with the World Series being a wild one, all the way to Game 7, the Cubs ended up overcoming a 108-year-old drought. This leaves Cleveland making their 68-year-old drought to a 69-year-old drought. As many people said it was time for the Cubs and the city of Chicago to have something good for their sports fans, and it finally happened in a total of 7 thrilling games. I'm Carly Dunbar reporting for Monthly Rewind Season 21.